You're listening to the home of all things Lindenwood sports. It's the Lions Den on KCLC HD Through the Tower and on the Roar Network YouTube channel.
Good evening, Lindenwood University. Welcome to the Lions Den. I am Justin. I am here joined with my co-host James and also Helena and Amy of the women's rugby team. How are you guys doing tonight?
So excited to be here, guys.
Awesome. Well, James, do you want to give a quick rundown of what the show is going to entail, and then we'll go ahead and get into the interview?
Of course. So every time we do these shows, it's supposed to be weekly. Last week, fall break, it was beautiful, a great time, but unfortunately, we did not have a show.
The time off, beauty sleep and all.
Of course, and that's what we did at that time. We did some personal passion projects, but we're back, and the way we do these shows is we interview an athlete for the first half. This week, we got two, which is the first time we're doing that. And then afterwards, we go through all of the NCAA team sports that are currently happening on campus, break down their season, their rosters, everything that's going on, and then we finish things up with our 3 stars of the week. But without further ado, that's not English. Without further ado, we're going into the interview of the week.
It's time for the interview of the week.
Alrighty, so first question, it's pretty simple, but great way to kick it off. What got you both into the sport of rugby, and what made you want to pursue that at the collegiate level here in the United States?
Yeah, so my dad was actually the person that got me into rugby. He is from New Zealand, same place that Lena's from, and it's actually the national sport, and it's huge back there, so, it sort of translated into me. I played with my brother for a really long time, and, I've always wanted to come to America for college, and, rugby was the perfect way to get me here.
Nice.
Same sort of story as Amy, but my family heavy with the rugby league more than rugby union, so I got to see the physical game from a very young age all the way up until I found out that I just wasn't enjoying it and wanted to take a different route than my family and started playing rugby union because I get to have more breaks, you see.
Yeah, there you go.
I get to have more breaks, so I enjoyed the sport a lot more, and I felt like I was thinking a lot more on the ball, and it inspired me to come to America when the offer was pulled out through an agency. So what happens with a few players when you play tournaments in New Zealand is that you get scouted and people would offer you sort of an opportunity overseas. And so that's somewhat what happened when the coaches here at Lindenwood got in touch. And so I just took a leap of faith and made it here to St. Charles, Missouri. So
awesome.
Yes.
No, and appreciate it. Yeah. But with that, women's rugby is now an official D1 sport here, but that only happened just about a little over a year ago. It happened about last year, June. How does it feel to be part of such a young rugby team, like a young D1 rugby team here? Because you guys were here when they got put into that program.
Yeah, so when we first got the news that we were going D1, everyone was on a Zoom call. It was really not something we were expecting at all. It's always been the competition that we were previously in, D1 Elite. It was always, who's the better team? What's the better competition? Is it NCAA D1? Is it D1 Elite? That sort of thing. I feel like now we get a really good scope of who is actually the best team. And who can put together the best roster, because we've got all the girls and all the best teams in one place.
Okay. Yeah, and just to add on to that, I think that I came in a time where I got to see the best of both worlds. See, I was a part of, what was it called last year?
D1 Elite.
D1 Elite, and now we're moving to the NCAA. It's just been great to see the transition into the almost sort of how the competitiveness, like how competitive it's become. So, it's been great.
So I want to go back to something you said earlier, because I'll be real, Justin and I, we're not the biggest rugby heads on the planet. We're learning as we go. We learned through our research this week. And you mentioned rugby union versus rugby league.
Yes.
I did not know.
Right.
I don't know what those two things are, but there seems like there's a big difference. Could you guys break down what that is?
Yes. Yeah, huge difference, but same ball, same tackle. But I guess essentially what rugby league is that you're in continuous play, but only for 5 phases. So you're on attack for 5 phases. By the 5th phase, you have to kick. Whereas rugby union is continuous all round until an infringement occurs, then there will be a stop of play. Rugby league also with defense. So we call it here in America offense. Is it? No. You call it defensive as well?
Defense.
Yes, okay, sorry. Anyway.
We call it defense, they say defense.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, on our defense, from our defense, we actually have to get back 5 meters after every tackle. Whereas in rugby union, wherever the person goes down is where you set the line.
Okay.
That's probably the biggest difference between rugby union and rugby league.
So similar, just some different rules that kind of govern the game.
There's no
It's
line
more
outs
along
for
the-
rugby league, and you're just a lot fitter, I believe, in rugby league than you are in rugby union. And rugby union is very task orientated because it's such a continuous ball game. You get to choose plays that are continuous and that are going to get you into that space. Whereas rugby league, you have to be able to think so quickly on the cuff that you got to get to that space and get to that try zone as early as possible, sort of thing.
Now, there is a difference in rugby union. There are 2 codes. There's 15s, which is the one that we play in this season right now. And then in our spring season, we go into 7s.
I have heard of that.
Yes.
Okay.
So 7s, United States has a little bit of an upper hand on Australia in that one. Okay. They managed to pip us out of the bronze medal at the Olympics. Yeah, so really happy about that.
7 people on the field for 7s.
As opposed to 15 people on the field.
Right.
So 7s is like the movement and the ball game is a lot more fluid. Ball retention is not, it's not as, you don't hold onto the ball for as long of a period of time. It's also only 7-minute halves.
Okay.
So it's a really, really
fast,
quick
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you do play a lot of games throughout a tournament style and it's exhausting.
That concept is
Sounds like it, yeah.
that concept is something that, like in most American sports, other than like some smaller high schools that have to play down on different levels for football, everything's the same. So it's interesting that like rugby, we have different rule sets, different time periods.
Yeah.
I'm learning stuff here today. We're learning on the fly.
Awesome. A lot. There's a lot.
Well, I guess one thing that people at home should learn about is how good you guys have been so far this year. You guys have played Army, Navy, Princeton, Harvard. You're playing some big programs with a lot of name recognition. And not to poo-poo on our own school, but a lot of people don't know what Lindenwood is. They've never heard of us, and we're going up against these big schools, and you guys are playing really well. What is it like playing against these schools and getting a bit more coverage on things like ESPN Plus and on the Ivy League network?
It's crazy, I'm not going to lie. We went and played Harvard at Harvard, and we didn't really get to tour around their campus, but just seeing what they have available there is incredible. And then, as you say, like getting that exposure, we've never been on ESPN Plus before. So getting that exposure on such a big platform is huge for not only our sport, but the team as well.
Okay.
Justin, I think it's back to you.
All right. No, I mean, that's awesome. But also with facing those, you've had some dominant wins over those teams like Army, Navy, and Princeton. You know, how does it feel to have those wins going forward in the season? I mean, that's got to be not necessarily an ego boost, but that's definitely got to help with, you know, that mindset going forward.
Yes, I think above all with this team, we're very humble and we're very respectable players that we use every opportunity as an opportunity to just build our foundation, and we've been able to do that this season, and we've been doing it very well, and I'm just really proud of how far that we've come from the beginning of the season to now, and yeah, every team thus far has been a challenge for us to see how we play with each other, how well plays go and how well and maybe not so well. So we get to come together every week or every day of every week to sort of determine what works best and what needs to be set to the side and where our strengths are, where our weaknesses are, and to just really thrive with our connection for the rest of the season. So, yes.
Well, right now, you guys, sorry about that, but, all these schools are kind of being moved around with, Division I and the D1 Elite. And I've seen it over my course of being here at Lindenwood. While I haven't followed the most closely with the rugby teams, you see some of the scores, right? And this week, 116 to nothing against Queen's University, which every time I see that, I'm thinking New York, Queens, and then Charlotte. Definitely not New York.
No.
But those are interesting games because I see that a lot with the rugby teams. You guys have been really good along with the men. When you play a game like that, you guys come in, you're favored, you know you should win, and you get up big early. What is it like being in those games? Are players being subbed out, or are you guys still just sitting in there grinding it out through the rest of the way?
I guess it's a combination of both. So initially, obviously, we don't want to not play our best team in every single game. So we start out with our initial best team that we can possibly put forward. And then if the scoreline is looking good and we are looking up, maybe some girls are, juggling a few injuries here and there. And so it's like, hey, maybe if we get up by this or, if we're performing really well, we'll pull you out and, we'll give you a little bit of recovery time because obviously rugby everything's unpredictable in the sport. And it's not really a controlled environment. Yeah. And so if you can take a player out, rest them for a little bit, make sure that they're doing all right. I guess that's sort of the game plan that we've got.
Yes, and just adding on to that as well is that our roster is made up of around 34 girls. And since that's the amount coming to training, but only around 23 travel, the opportunities for the girls that get left behind come up for games like these. So we will field out props that may have not had the opportunity to play in past games and back five and all the other positions that need to, fill in while the others may rest. I mean, I was one of the players that started on the bench in the weekend of that game, and so I was happy to do that, seeing that some girls got the opportunity to play 80 minutes and play the game that they love and what they're here to do here at Lindenwood. So, yes, I'm always happy to set aside to see the girls shine a bit, so.
A team player. You got to do that.
She is the epitome of a team player.
Well, when you got a lot of people on a roster like you guys do, I mean, that's important. People look to that. So definitely the right answer. I know the coach is going to like that one for sure. But last year when I got to talk to the women's soccer team, and they talked a lot about their preparation, the physical side of things, and how they manage players, they rest players. Rugby is a lot more physical. You guys are there's a lot of people getting hit. There's a lot of people nursing injuries. With you guys, what is the prep work during the week like for fitness and health and things like that?
Yeah, so obviously, let's say we play a game on a Saturday, whether it's morning or evening, Sunday is our day off. NCAA, we do have a day off. Yes.
There you go. Good disclaimer.
Sunday will be our rest day. We'll have nothing on. And then Monday we'll get back. We'll put some meters into our legs. Obviously, our coaches have a lot of depth and they've done a lot of outside work into how many meters or yards. I don't know. How many miles they need to put into our legs in preparation for a game day. Mm-hmm. So a position like me, and even a position like Lena, we sort of hit very similar meters. We hit about upwards of maybe like 9K, 8K, 9K in a game, which is a lot of... You're putting a lot of running into your legs. Mm-hmm. So in order to prepare for that and to not get soft tissue injuries, to not do that, we start off the week by just going balls to the wall, I guess. We just go hard out. Tuesday sessions are always a lot of running.
Yes.
And then we'll
Clarity
start
as
tapering
well.
down.
Yep.
Yeah, Wednesdays will be more of like a mental, we're locked in, we've had a good session the day before. We'll have, clarity, that sort of thing. We'll do team meetings in the beginning of the week so that at the end of the week we can prepare for our game.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, and it looks like that process is working. You guys are 5-1, and you're second in the NIRA, which, for those listening that may not know, that is the National Intercollegiate Rugby Association. And, I mean, you guys are second right now, only behind Harvard, which, I mean, barely won. They barely won. So, I mean, how does it feel to be one of those top teams in the country? Like, you are one of the best women's rugby teams in the nation right now.
No, it's definitely a honourable experience to be a part of a team that is considered one of the top in the nation currently. And I got the opportunity to feel that last year when we won our national championship. But it actually is quite challenging. You could say it's almost like we're walking around with a target on our backs every day, and there's no room to take your foot off the pedal at all. It's just all gas, no brakes when you're in a sport like this. So Monday through Friday and Saturday, and even on Sunday, essentially, you want to be competing in everything. I mean, even on and off the field, there's tasks that you have to do as an athlete. Off field would have to be, your nutrition, your sleep. We're going to make sure we're also focusing on our academics. Like, there's so much that entails into us as student athletes that it's, as you say, it's really competitive in the sport, and yeah.
All right. I mean, kind of building off that, you said you constantly have a target on your back. And I know before the show we even talked about your next matchup, which is Dartmouth. That is this Saturday, 7 p.m. Please go show support. It's here at Hunter Stadium, people. It is, it's senior night, it's family night. I mean, what does this game mean to you guys? What is this game going to, like, I guess, for yourselves, for your team? How is it going to feel going forward with the rest of the season to beat Dartmouth at home on such a special night?
Yeah, so one thing that I do love about our sport is how family orientated it is. We are very heavily focused on that family aspect, whether it's introducing your girls in your squad to your family outside, or whether it's creating a sort of found family within the team. We're very heavy on that. So, this weekend means a lot to us. We have a lot of girls that are graduating, sadly, this year. And so I feel like this will be a good way to sort of, send us out with a bang.
Yes. Amy Brice is actually one of our seniors and our captain of the Lindenwood women's rugby team. And we've just had, as a sophomore, we have some class players in our senior group. And it's going to be something that I hold, dearly this weekend to my heart, so that I just really want to show up for the girls this weekend, because some girls have been here for 5 years, and others, have helped me build the foundation that I had last year coming from New Zealand, and I've built such a strong relationship with it. It's only right that we end their years here at Lindenwood the right way, and that's going to be a win, and then it's going to be a championship. We're going to do it the right way because they deserve it. So, yes.
Love to hear that.
You mentioned you have all the class players. You mentioned trying to win a championship.
Right.
You guys have been very competitive for several years now, and yet I think we're all in agreement. You guys don't get the respect you deserve from a whole. Like, rugby here in the United States just doesn't quite have the hold that it probably should yet. Because let's be real, everyone's here watching baseball, football, basketball, the whole 9 yards. They're great sports, but rugby is definitely underappreciated. Like, I need to do my research on it. And later this year, I'm definitely going to, because we're doing a men's rugby broadcast. Should do more women's rugby broadcasts. But anyways, what I'm getting at with this is, if you guys were in charge of women's rugby, like if you were the commissioner of all of collegiate rugby, what would you do to grow the women's game?
I think just broadcast how inclusive it is. It doesn't matter, like, if you're 5'11", if you're 4'10", if you're 190 pounds or 120 pounds. Like, you will fit in rugby, and rugby will include you in their space. It's such a diverse and inclusive sport. Obviously, on our team, I probably would confidently say that we have the most diverse team on campus right now, and that's just reflective of the sport in whole. It's a great sport.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take a different route with that and start by saying all the women's players are going to get paid, and they're going to get paid well. They're going to get paid so well that they can make it a career that they can focus on, essentially from when they make their decision that sport is something that they want to do, that they can take it and they can take it forever. Somewhat like the same treatment as like men's rugby, because there are men's rugby players, even in my family, that get to play in countries like Japan, France, and they get their car, house, and, you know, essentially everything that they need when they're doing the same training as we are. So I think I would really invest into those ladies, the ladies who are raising children, that are also police officers, doctors, or lawyers, that they may not have to be that as well as a rugby player, that they can focus on being a rugby player and solely that as a career. So I'll invest a lot more money into the sport. I think also the same as Amy is that, especially here in the US, there needs to be some sort of program that is a part of their development. I think what they do very well in New Zealand is that there's a pathway from ripe age. Girls are 12 years old in the under 12s team, under 16s, under 18s, etc., so forth. But then when we get into America, a lot of the girls here in university, as soon as it's finished, that's essentially all they do with their rugby careers, because they'll go back to, let's say they go back to Colorado, that's where they're from. Their club team is made up of ladies that are, you know, maybe not collegiate level players and isn't a space for them to develop, because they train twice a week and then play on a Saturday. When at this level, if you want to be professional, you got to train every day. You got to be if you want to be professional, you got to train like one. And so there's just no pathway here in the US for the girls to excel. So
yeah. So I've actually got a couple questions. One to kind of build off your point, Amy, and one to build off yours, Lena. Amy, first, you said it's kind of like a family and that you're very inclusive. And I know I was looking at your roster earlier. I saw players from Guam, from Hawaii, Australia, New Zealand, Italy. I mean, what is it like to play with all those players around the world, to come in and to be able to have that coercion, to have such a great team, even when you're from all over?
That is such a great question, and one that I love it, because you learn so much. You learn so much about the cultures from people in different areas, different places of the world that you haven't gone to yet, that now you're like, oh my gosh, I should absolutely experience that. If people like Guam are like Bran or like Mia, oh my gosh, of course I want to go to Guam. That's incredible. They're incredible people and I want to go there. But I think that everyone just brings something to the table that we can add on to, and that we can feed off and grow our team and collectively grow as people as well. That's one thing that I do love about our team, is that we're more than just rugby players. We are people, and we are women, and a family outside of it.
Yeah. And I think my follow-up question would be for you, Lena. You talked about those programs and how outside of rugby, the normal lives and just normal people with families and doing all that, but how some they can continue on to rugby, or they might go back or go at the club level, stuff like that. I guess this is a question for both of you. I mean, where are y'all looking to go after, Lindenwood, as far as, rugby, or as far as, life? Because, I mean, I know it's a scary question, and we did ask the same thing of Darren not but a couple weeks ago. But, I mean, I know you're a senior and that's coming up quick. Are you looking to keep pursuing rugby, or is there just a little bit more to life than the game?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I've played rugby since I was like 5 years old. I got told by, I played with the guys team, and I got told by my coach of a select team when I was 12 years old that I should never quit rugby. And it's the reason that I'm here. He said, no matter what barriers that you face, what trials you have, just keep playing rugby. And I think that's just what I'm going to keep doing. No matter where the sport takes me, I love it so much, man. There's nothing more in this world that I love than going out on the field with girls that I know that have my back through thick and thin.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Yes.
Same thing here. Rugby is my identity. There's no way it'll ever leave me wherever it goes, wherever rugby goes. I do obviously want to represent my country one day. Class players over there from New Zealand, so I know well that people who know rugby know New Zealand, and that's something that I do want to pursue, but it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of dedication, just like Amy. She's been here for 4 or 5 years now, and it just means that I had to sort of see through that time as well and use the most of the facilities they have here at Lindenwood. Just become an athlete as best as I can, so that when I go home, I'm going to be hopefully somewhat competitive against, those players over there in New Zealand.
Awesome.
I know it was a scary question. We're getting there. I know you're a senior, I'm a senior. After this, it's scary. It's the real world, but
Tell me about it.
Maybe live. I don't know. Be happy. I don't know.
Well, I know. For one, thank you guys so much for coming on today. And we have some classes in the comm program now where we are able to do extra broadcasts, where we now have a fly pack where maybe if you guys aren't playing at Hunter but at the other stadium or somewhere close, set up a broadcast. So I think after today's interview, we might have to have some conversations with the comm program, be like, hey, can we put together some student-run rugby broadcasts, because you guys deserve it. But
so
thank you guys so much for coming on the show today. You guys were awesome, and just good luck this week.
So
you got to take down Dartmouth.
I think we just have one last question, though, and it's the signature question for the show. Promise this is the last. And we ask this of every athlete, just purely because it is the broad cover of it all. I mean, what is something that you wish people knew more, like the students of Lindenwood or just people of America knew more about your sport? We've talked about it a lot on the show already, but what is something so pinpoint that you want them to understand just that little bit more?
Oh, that's a heavy question. I'm trying to think.
Maybe I'll take the lead on this one first. First and foremost, we train just as hard as men. We hit just as hard as men. We play the game smart. We know how to navigate this game very well, and it continues to grow when we're given the opportunity to as women. We're such strong-minded and physical beings as rugby players, so don't expect any less, when you come to watch a women's rugby game to a men's rugby game. It's going to be essentially the same thing, and I just think it's so important to understand is that they're two very different, they show two different pictures, but at the end of the day we compete just as physical as men, and we're able to show up to the table just as much as they do, and
Hot out. I'm gonna bounce off of that. If you love football, you will love rugby.
Yes.
There you go.
As much as I know that there's always debates going around, what's better, football or rugby? Why not both? Why can't you love both sports? Why can't you be invested in sports as a whole? I think that there's so much that we can learn from other sports, and there's so much that other sports can learn from us. And I think that you've got to really live in the environment and be in the atmosphere. 7 p.m. this Saturday. But yeah, you've just got to just come to one game, and if you don't like it, then that's okay. But just try it, and I promise you, I guarantee you that you will love it.
I think it's everyone's scared. Like, I learned football from my dad, but he didn't know rugby. So, like, you see it and you have a billion questions.
Yeah.
Guys, the internet's free. You can look stuff up. And
Google's there.
we probably should be better about it here in the States. It's such a fun game. Every time it's in the Olympics, it's so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I'm still asking questions, and I need to just go on Google. Like,
Ask us.
it's just, I think it's just us in America. We're stubborn. We're just like, we're not culturing ourselves enough. And then we miss out on really cool things like this, or we don't. Our soccer programs here in the U.S., they're not there. Because you mentioned earlier, like the rugby, like over in New Zealand, you guys, when you're younger, there's a program.
Yeah.
There's something set up.
Same as football, though, right?
Yeah.
But here in the States, it's all pay to play.
Right.
So kids get left out, and it's hard to get into stuff. And the U.S. national teams are relying on individual select stuff instead of the country putting something together. So maybe that's where the U.S. needs to get on that, is having youth programs for rugby, getting more people involved, because we don't have it yet.
They're just leaps and bounds ahead of us. What can we say?
Yeah.
They're just leaps and bounds ahead of us on that front.
All right. Well, yeah, like I said earlier, thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you guys.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate
Thank you.
this.
You guys are awesome, and we'll do everything we can to try to get rugby the respect it deserves.
Oh, yeah.
You guys have earned it.
Pete and this Saturday.
Yeah. No, thank you guys for giving us a platform to speak about a sport that, has given us so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you
Well,
very
I
much.
guess we have to be there now. Like, we have to go to the game. Right.
I'm fine with it. I don't have plans Saturday night. So.
I think we're going to be there then. Might have to make a sign or something, yeah.
Pizza afterwards, for sure.
All right, well, we're going to keep moving on here in the show. But yeah, thank you guys. Well, I guess we'll just meet you outside afterwards if you guys want to talk, get social medias and stuff figured out.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to go talk
good.
about all the other sports on campus. They're not
Awesome.
Thank you, boys.
They're okay.
They're all right.
All right. Thank you, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
It's time to go inside the Lions Den and break down every current Lindenwood sports team.
Well, as they walk out, we're going to move into the Lions Den. And, Justin, yeah, I got it. I can take care of it. Yeah. Justin's going to run down both of them and I guess talk about social media stuff as we move into the Lions Den, where every week we break down what happened across Lindenwood sports on the NCAA front of things. And I'll be real with you guys. Look, that interview, it was fun. It was a good one. They both did great. But Justin and I got to figure out how to interview two people at once, because that was hard. That was a difficult task right there, doing a group interview like that. 4 people in a cramped studio. But we're going to move into women's soccer. They are currently sitting at 6-4-4 on the season, 3-2-1 in conference, coming off a 1-0 win over Western Illinois. And the game winner in that one came in the 30th minute as a corner kick was delivered into the box by Tasneem Dezderzevich and was deflected off the hands of the keeper. So Maddie Vasilov said, all right, I'll just put this one in. And that was the game. The Lions are now 4-1-2 on the road this season, which is the most wins away from home in the Division I era. And Saturday's victory was LU's 8th shutout performance of the season, matching last year's regular season total. And if you're comparing things to last year, that's usually pretty good, because we won a championship last year in the OVC. But I will say this. The team either plays really good conservative defensive soccer, or they get boat raced. That has been kind of the story of the season so far for women's soccer, because when they're up against teams that are of lesser levels, what they do is they just possess the ball the entire time, and they just choke out the other team, and eventually they break through. And it's usually a 1-0, 2-0, or 0-0 tie. Those are the score lines you're used to seeing, but in the games they've lost recently, and at least in their last 2, they've given up 8 goals. Things did not go their way in those. So it's really interesting to watch the team this year. But their next game is on Thursday against first-placed Eastern Illinois University at Hunter Stadium. You guys should be there. It's going to be a fun one. You also should be at that rugby game. But we're going to move into men's soccer here, and Jet's back. But I'll start us off. I'll start us off on men's soccer.
Sounds
so
good.
The team has finally lost a game. It was a long time coming. It couldn't go on forever as much as we hoped it would.
Oh, man.
But they are now 10-1-2. 3-1-1 in the conference. But since our last show, they are 1-1-1. So that dominance that we were seeing in the non-con and the early part of conference play is starting to wear off a bit. Teams are starting to figure us out. But I have a feeling eventually we're going to get back to what we're doing.
Oh, yeah.
And probably this week, because I like the matchups we have.
I'll say this. Technically, we're only 4-1, because although one of them is a tie, it's not a loss. So I'll consider that one a win.
Okay.
That's
unfortunately,
my,
that's not how soccer works, but I like the idea.
That's
Spirit win.
Spirit win, exactly.
So those last 3 games, it was a 2-0 win over Western Illinois. In my personal opinion, not the greatest game that they've played this season, but it's a W against a team you know you have to beat, because Western Illinois is struggling this year. We outpossessed them, we outchanced them, but it's just cleaning some things up. And unfortunately, SIUE was able to take advantage of that, as we didn't have our best game against them, ended up having a draw, which is kind of nice that we didn't lose to them at all this year.
Yeah.
Got to win, got to draw. We take that. I mean, coming into the season, if you would have told us that, we'd be okay with a win and a draw. But now we were getting greedy. We were like, oh, we already beat them once. We can beat them again. And then we had a tight 1-0 loss to Liberty. That was an away game. It was going to happen eventually. Liberty's pretty good.
Yeah.
They're a sneaky team in the conference. But, hey, they played well for the first start of the season. They were undefeated for the longest time. You have to lose eventually.
Yeah, and, they were just struggling to sustain the constant, possession that they were having. And also the opportunities that they just kept getting against these top teams. And while the struggles may have been there, they always found a way to win. Somebody finally figured them out. Somebody finally got on top of it. And, it's only one loss. This isn't the end of the world. This isn't like a be-all, end-all situation. But, yeah, no, they just figured out the little bit of inconsistencies there. However, we're still looking up. We're still looking up, and that is because the next game is this Thursday at home against, a rather lackluster, a struggling, if you will, Incarnate Word squad. So I'm looking forward to it. I think that Lindenwood's going to get back on top. I think it was just a little bit of a rough week, but nothing they can't overcome. This team has shown extreme resilience throughout the entirety of the season. Ethan Blake told us about it, and I think the biggest game he was talking to us about was SIUE. They beat SIUE, man. They are at the top. They're there. But yeah, no, their next game this Thursday at home against Incarnate Word. But speaking of one football, let's move on to the next football. We are talking about your Lindenwood Lions football, and they are currently 3-3 coming off of a bye week. They're 2-0 in the conference, and this is after a 30-14 dismantling. I think that's just the best word you could say. Dismantling of UT Martin. What is a Skyhawk? I think that's
what is a Skyhawk?
What is a Skyhawk?
Your logo is a bird wearing an aviator helmet with glasses on it.
It looks like the Iowa Barnstormers, or like a cheap knockoff of them.
Yeah, it's not like an awful logo, but there's no depth to it. And I'm a design nerd, so maybe it's not the most fair for me to dunk on them for that. But come on, guys, what are we doing?
It was led by the Lions vertical pass, and we've talked about Nate Glantz, how he's just done really well. He had it there. And Jalen Smith, a wide receiver we haven't talked about a lot because we talk a lot about Rico Bond, but Jalen Smith, 3 receptions, 146 yards. That's an insane average. Mm-hmm. That is we have another wide receiver threat. And this isn't a lookout Rico Bond, another guy's coming into town. No, this is a dynamic duo situation. This is better than Batman Robin.
Yeah, this is like an Addison Jefferson, Higgins, Chase situation.
This is
going
like an LSU type situation. You could go to either side. They're right there. UT Martin looked fine coming in. They looked okay starting it. But, your Lindenwood Lions, shut that down. Sit down, Skyhawks.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We started our OVC game day show 2 weeks ago on the Roar Network YouTube channel.
I recommend watching it.
You're going to be watching this on YouTube, unless you're listening live, which we appreciate as well, or also on Linden Link. That got posted last week, too. Truman came through for us, put it up on there.
We love Truman.
But I picked, in that one, I was doing the pick'em segment, I picked UT Martin to win. I came in thinking, okay, they just beat the crap out of SEMO. Their defensive line, their linebackers, their edge rushers, there's no way that Glantz is going to be able to do anything here. And it's not his fault. It's just they're so dominant. O-line did a good job, and he was able to get on the move, which is something UT Martin could not do. They knew coming in this game, we cannot let Glantz do this. And it happened because Lindenwood was just simply better on this day. And I also look at our defense, our linebackers, Sanjay Strickland, Jacob Waller. They had some really nice plays where you had some guys that they break the tackle, they might be gone, or it might go another 10, 20 yards up the field. Got a hold of the shoestring, made the big tackle, had the big hit, forced a fumble. Yeah, the defense was humming. Like, they didn't play extremely dominant. It wasn't like you had T.J. Watt and freaking Myles Garrett going in crazy and, like, just sacking them all over the place. You know, we didn't have a performance like that where one guy took over the game. It was everybody did their part, and on first, second, third down, they just didn't make things comfortable for UT Martin. Like, they got pressure. The other team knew that, man, we got to get rid of the football, because if we don't, we're going to get sacked.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, I just like the performance as a whole. It was probably the most complete game I've ever seen Lindenwood play at home. And I'm not counting the games against, like, lesser opponents, the Division II games or the NAIA team we played the opening year. Those don't count. Come on now. Against a conference foe, this was one of the best games Lindenwood has ever played. And I will say one thing. We've said a lot of positives.
Yeah.
The kicking game for this team worries me a lot right now. They have not been able to figure it out on special teams this year. We've had multiple kicks get blocked, and we've had 6 field goal attempts on the season. 2 of them have gone in. And the longest one was 31 yards. So right now, if this offense doesn't score a touchdown, you're taking a big gamble to send out the field goal squad right now. The kicking unit has not done what Coach Stugart has wanted them to do so far this year, which is unfortunate because last year it was okay. It was pretty solid, one of the better ones in the OVC Big South. This year, it's a bit of a liability. So clean that up, and we might be looking at a second place finish in the OVC this year. You beat Tennessee Tech this weekend, and you might be thinking about going for number 1, but that's a big ask.
That is another game here at home.
Number 8 in the country.
Number 8 in the
coming
country.
in, yeah. This one scares me, though. There's rain in the forecast, right? So last year, let me take you guys back. I'm sure everyone remembers. We played SEMO last year. SEMO coming into that game was what, number 6 in the country? That sounds right. Monsoon. Just so much rain. Our camera operators were getting soaked out there. I felt bad for everyone on our broadcast team because I was up in the nice high and dry little camera well, and I didn't get a drop of rain on me. And meanwhile, our guys were getting soaked through the raincoats. SEMO was a throwing first team. They were a pass first team. Good quarterback, good receivers. You can't do that in the rain.
No.
Tennessee Tech doesn't work that way. They can beat you however they want, and they like to do it on the ground. Meanwhile, Lindenwood this year has had to lean on Nate Glantz to throw the football. So if it rains a lot, it's going to have to be a coaching masterclass out of Jed Stugart to somehow keep Tennessee Tech from scoring. And then Nate Glantz is going to have to battle through the rain and find a way to throw accurate passes. But hopefully the rain goes away and we have a chance to win.
As long as Mr. Glantz does not pull what Jaden Daniels pulled on Monday night, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Just keep a hold of the ball and we'll be fine.
He's been good at that this year. That's been the big improvement. The turnovers have not been there.
Exactly.
Last year, I was losing my mind watching some of those games. Like, man, we have a chance to win this game if we just run the football and don't turn over the ball.
Just keep it. And
unfortunately, he did a lot last year. This year, you're seeing it. The evolution of the quarterback that is Nate Glantz. We have a lot of nice things to say about him, but on the other side, you had Lindenwood, big wins in football, the volleyball team right now. We had Autumn Bax on earlier this year. She's a leader. She's also one of the oldest members of the team, and she is a sophomore. Yeah. They are very young. The roster turnover is real on that part, and this week, Lindenwood dropped back-to-back 3-0 matches to Moorhead State, falling to 6-9 overall in the season and 2-5 in OVC play. And for me, watching those games, what really bothers me with the team right now is like receiving serves.
Yeah.
It is difficult. I understand the game is a lot faster, and for the freshmen coming in, you're having to experience a pretty decent conference and really good players and other teams. But a ball comes in, and they're not setting up well off that first touch, which leads to a bad set, which leads to a lot of just bumping it over instead of spiking it down.
Yeah.
That has been the problem. And then when they finally do get set up properly, it's the chemistry. The setters trying to get the ball to people like backs and the outside hitters. It hasn't formed yet because this team is so young. And I applaud the head coach. He's had confidence. He's let people go in there and struggle, saying, hey, I'm not going to bench you because you had a bad game, because you have to get experience.
Yeah.
Will Condon's done a good job managing this roster so far. He's one of the best coaches in the OVC, if not the best head coach. Just right now, the roster is young, it's raw, and it's also early in the season. So I expect improvement later on, but right now, they're on a bit of a struggle bus, and their next match is on Friday and Saturday at Tennessee State. All right. We've gotten through the Lions Den. Now it's time to move into our 3 stars of the week.
It's time for the 3 stars of the week.
3 stars of the week. Let's do it.
3 stars of the week. I love that sound effect.
Happy
every single
wheels,
time
baby.
it plays.
Happy wheels.
So we're going to start with, number 3. We're going to start with Jalen Smith. We talked to...
Hang on. Other way up. Other way around.
All
so
right.
Giovanni Morno is going to be... And that's on me. I'm not going to hold you. I'm going to take full blame for this. The way we set up the 3 stars of the week in our notes, it goes 1, 2, and 3, except... the number 1 is the 3rd star because it's a list set up in Google Docs. That is on me. That's 100% my fault. Let's move on.
Alrighty. Giovanni Morno, a Ottawa native and first-year Lion. 4 goals through his first 3 games and 2 goals and 1 assist in Saturday's game against Lake Superior State. He's been dominant. He's been great. He's been lights out, and he is very much deserving of being one of our stars of the week. Thank you very much, Mr. Giovanni.
He's a guy that you look at him, he's not very big. Comes in at like 165, I believe. Not a very big guy, only like 5'8", 5'9". Mm-hmm. And you're like, okay, well, if you're going to be on an NCAA roster, you need to put the puck in the back of the net. You need to be a guy on offense who's going to put up big stats. He's doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Lindenwood, the last few years, you've had some guys on the roster that are pretty solid, but not guys that you have to game plan around. This has potential, if Giovanni stays here over the next few years, to be the star for Lindenwood, to be the headliner, to be the Rico Bond, to be the Autumn Backs, the Ethan Blake, the guy you look out on each team and say, that's a guy we got to stop.
Oh, yeah.
And so far this year, he's doing it. He did it against Wisconsin, not just against Lake Superior State. Looked good in those games. But our 2nd star of the week, I'm a homer on this one, I'm not going to lie. So I'm redshirting this year. I'm on the bowling team, technically. I was the last 3 years, but I got to give a shout out to Emmanuel McPherson and Mike Anderson. Finished 1st and 2nd at the Columbia 300 Western Shootout in Indianapolis this weekend. And the way these tournaments work, the first day is all individual, but those points get added up for team. The second day is all Baker. So the tournaments won the first day for individuals, and you bowl 6 games. And Mr. Anderson, he averaged 233 for 6, and Emmanuel McPherson 238. Those numbers may not mean a lot to everybody at home, especially if you're like a house bowler around here. We're bowling on sports shots. We're bowling on really obnoxious garbage in college, stuff that you can't put up big scores on. To be averaging stuff like that is incredible. It was a high-scoring event for everyone across the board. And for 2 Lions to finish 1st and 2nd, that is a big deal. 2 guys finishing in ATT. The men's team finished 5th in that tournament. And our women's team, which it's stars of the week, I have to do individual performances. Unfortunately, I can't give the women's team their flowers as much as I'd like to, but they got the job done. They won the tournament. Congratulations to our Lady Lions. They're very good, and I'm close with a bunch of them. So they're good. They practice really, really hard. They do the right things, and it's starting to show up as they win another tournament.
Oh, yeah. So congratulations to them. And now we get to Mr. Jalen Smith, the other wide receiver, the other deep threat. He is... as we are talking about a Lions wide receiver. We mentioned him earlier in the show, but, this team needed guys to step up, and he was there. It shows that if they double, triple cover Rico Bond, they have another guy that they can throw to. 240 yards on 9 receptions through 2 conference games. That is
It's insane.
Unreal
it's
stat
insane,
line.
Right?
Only 9 receptions, and you're at 240 yards. That shows the depth and the talent that this wide receiver has.
Well, because it's been weird the last few years. Yeah, we have Jeff Caldwell. Who's our number 2? Is it Crowbath? Do you throw to Darren Fugit? This year, you look at the wide receiver room and you say, there's a lot of guys that on any given Saturday can put up a lot of numbers, that can get separation, that can get open. And now you got a quarterback who's more confident, who knows how to manage the pocket, isn't taking as many sacks, has better vision of the field, spreading the ball out. That's how you win football games.
Oh, yeah.
But for a guy to stand out that much in 2 conference games, every other game in the year, he's been okay. You look at the stat line, And then against Charleston Southern and against UT Martin last week, just completely blows up the score sheet. And three receptions for 140.
Yep.
That's like the Moss graphic from what was it, like 3 receptions, 200 yards on the one Thanksgiving that he had. I mean, that's insane. Like over 40 yards per reception, and they weren't just like butt naked open routes where he was just kind of standing out there blowing coverage. He had to earn a lot of them, had to go up or just cook his guy. Like, it wasn't like he got lost in coverage. He legitimately ran a good route, went up, got the football, and the one on the near sideline that he caught, had to catch it, stayed in bounds, walked the tightrope, and into the end zone. And that kind of iced the game at that point in time.
Yeah.
So, what a performance. He's definitely deserving. I know it technically isn't this week, but we have to make up for last week's show because we didn't have one. Fall break. It was great.
Fall break, and we are glad to be back. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Yeah, of course. So if you missed anything from today's show, we're going to be on YouTube on the Roar Network YouTube channel, and we might potentially be on Linden Link if Truman keeps this going. We appreciate him posting our stuff on there.
Please, Truman. Please post our stuff on Linden Link.
Well, he has no obligation to, but also just check out Linden Link in general.
Exactly.
I know I'll let you speak to it, but there's a lot of good stuff on there.
I was about to say, as much as we are doing this broadcast here on KCLC HD3, The Tower, Linden Link is your place for student publications. It is your place to go and read what is happening either on campus in the St. Charles area or just around. Get your pop culture news. Get your, what's happening on campus news. It is all at lindenlink.com. Go ahead and go visit that. But yeah, I think that's about all I've got.
Yeah, I think that's it for this week of the Lion's Den. And few notes before we finish up. I'm just going to recap something. I need to do less caffeine before I come and do these. The entire time I've been wired. I have not had a minute to relax. I've been on the edge of my seat. This was a mistake from me today. I will learn that moving forward. But thank you guys for tuning into the Lion's Den, and we will see you guys next Tuesday. Peace.
Thank you for listening to The Lion's Den. We're on air every Tuesday at 6 p.m. right here on the Tower, and all recordings are on the Roar Network YouTube channel. Have a great rest of your evening, and go Lions!